Hello, everyone. Hi, Monique, the Money Coach here. And I'm so excited for you to have taken this really big, really important step on getting your money under control to live your joy-filled life. Congratulations. I am proud of you, and I hope you are proud of yourself. All right, today we are going to be talking about the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan. Now, what is the importance of a spending tracker and a spending plan? So a spending tracker is important because without knowing where your money is going, you cannot ensure that your money is supporting you in your life where you want the most support. Without knowing where your money is going, you cannot ensure that your money is going towards the things that you want it to go towards to live your most joy-filled life. Once you understand where your money is going and what is happening with your money, you can decide what to do from there. You can decide that it is going where you want it to go. It is supporting you in the areas that you want the most support. And so you can just continue to proceed as you have been. If you decide that there are a couple of places where your money is going that you no longer want it to go, you can make some changes right then and there. So that's the importance of a spending tracker, to track where your money has been going historically and to get an exact, accurate picture of what is happening with your money currently. Now, the spending plan is where you decide what you want to do with your money in the future. That's where you decide where you want your money to start going. So the spending tracker is to track where your money has been. The spending plan is where you decide what you want to do with your money. So it's you making all of these decisions at that point. So today we are going to get into a brief demo of how to use the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan. And I want to first emphasize the difference between the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan versus some other spending tracking spreadsheets and some other budgets that you may have seen. A lot of times, budgets are laser vision focused on the things that you cannot do. They're focused on restrictions. They're focused on cutting back everything to pay off your debt, cutting back everything to get your savings to a bare minimum level to support you with any type of emergency. And the joyful spending tracker, the joyful spending plans, while they still accomplish the goal of paying off your debts, while they still accomplish the goal of increasing your savings, while they still accomplish the goal of building for your future and your retirement, they do it while allowing you to live your life joyfully today. Here at Monique the Money Coach, we are not focused on cutting back every single thing that brings you joy in order to meet your financial goals. We want you to have both. We want you to have the things that bring you joy, and we also want you to reach your financial goals. So that is the importance of the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan. It's to make sure that you still enjoy your life today while still meeting these goals. So let's jump into the Joyful Spending Tracking and the Joyful Spending Plan spreadsheet demonstrations. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's jump into the demonstration of the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So in your confirmation email, when you opt in to receive the Joyful Spending Tracker and the Joyful Spending Plan, you will receive the links to the templates. And for your Joyful Spending Tracker, this is where the link will take you. It will ask you, this blue button right here, to use the template. This is what the template looks like, and it will ask you if you want to use the template. You select use the template. And now this becomes your document. No one else has access to this document. So if I click the share button, I, Monique Cervantes, am the owner of this document. The access is restricted to only people that have my personal link, and no one else has access to this. Now, that was really important to me because I wanted to make sure that as people get these documents, that they are theirs. This is their personal, this private document. No one else has access to this. Once you start filling this in, this is your private document. You can rename this. You can take this out and you can write My Joyful Spending Tracker. You can do whatever you want. This is completely your document now. So we're starting with January 2024, and some of my joy-filled expenses have been dance class. And let's say I took a dance class on the 12th, and let's say that class was $20. I also get my nails done. Let's say I got my nails done on the 11th, and that was $70. So you go through. What I like to do is I have this on my laptop. I have my phone open to each individual place where I spend money. So I would first go through one bank account and tally up all of the expenses that are listed within that one bank account. So let's say from that one bank account, I put into my, let's say, HOA sinking fund. And let's say that was on the 2nd. Let's say I put $200. Let's say for in that account, I had my credit card payment. And let's say that came out on the 3rd, and that was $250. From there, I had my mortgage, and that was on the 1st, and that was $1,400. And then later on, we had the gas bill. So that was on the 10th, and that was $75. Continuing down the line, my children had dance classes as well. And let's say they went on the 14th, or let's say I paid their dance tuition on the 14th, and that was $200. Let's say we had to buy them some shoes, and we did that on the 15th, and that was $75. So you continue going down the row with all of your transactions. Let's say we got groceries on the 3rd, and that was $100. Let's say we went to In-N-Out because we love In-N-Out on the 5th, and that was $30. Again, continue going down. Transportation. Let's say I needed to fill up my gas tank on the 7th, and that was $55. We keep scrolling down, scrolling down. All right, let's say we had a doctor's appointment on the 18th, and the copay was $30. And then for personal, let's say I had a haircut on the 10th, and that was $30. All right, so now this is a list of all of your total expenses that you have within this column. So this is going to tally up all of your expenses within the month of January from all of your accounts. So I go through my bank account, I go through my credit card statements, I go through anything that I paid through Zelle or Venmo or Cash App, all of those. I go through each individual account and record all of my transactions. Next comes the income. Let's say we got paid on the 4th, and then you write your company name or the payment source here. And let's say that was $2,000. And then we got paid again on the 11th, company name, and that was $2,000. So this is if you, $2,000. This is if you get paid, every 2 weeks, regularly, irregularly, regardless, any payment source. So oftentimes, we go out to eat. Maybe one person picks up the tab and everyone else pays them cash. In this column, just for exact accuracy, I would put how much the exact tab was. So let's go back down to food. Let's say we went to a restaurant and that was on the 19th and the bill came out to $200. I put $200 on my credit card. I spent $200. The transaction is going to come through as $200. But let's say on the 19th, I got reimbursed for $170 because that's how much I got back from putting everything on my card. So now we have all of our income sources here. So this column adds up all of the income sources in this cell. So we have our income, we have our expenses, and we have the difference. So once you fill out all of these columns, it's very easy for you to see, are you operating in a surplus or a deficit? Do you have extra money after all of your income has been calculated and after all of your expenses have been calculated? Or are you in the negative? This is going to be a very, very important number to show you. For example, if you have been operating in the negative, it's going to be very easy to see. This is why I feel so tight every month. This is why I'm struggling every month to make certain payments, because your spending amount is very, very close or above your income amount. So down here, just at a quick glance, we have the exact same cell here. This is either the surplus or the deficit. This is your income minus your expenses. We have this down here as well, just so that in case you're at the bottom of the page, you can see it. In case you're at the top of the page, you can see it. Here, I've added a couple of snapshot boxes. So you can see your top 3 variable expenses and your top 3 fixed expenses. So if you add up, let's say your top 3 variable expenses, for me, it looks like it was probably the nails. I mean, probably the eating out, because already that's at $230. And it looks like gas at $55. So you would record your top 3 variable expenses, put the amount here, and that again is a quick snapshot to see what are your top 3 expenses, what are the top 3 things that are drawing on your resources the most. And here we have our top 3 fixed expenses. Oftentimes it's going to be your mortgage or your rent, any type of debt payment. So if you have credit card payments, if you have car payments, those are more than likely going to be in your top 3 fixed expenses. And again, it's a quick snapshot to see how your expenses are going. All right, so once you have all of this filled out, oh, and then there's a column here for notes. So for example, let's say under transportation this month, we had to pay for insurance. And the insurance was $600. Insurance was paid on the 12th, and it was $600. I would put that this gets paid semi-annually because our insurance gets paid twice a year. If for one of our housing expenses, we had our phone bill, and that was paid on, let's say, the 5th, and we pay this annually. Our phone bill we pay annually. So these notes are just here to show, anything that can't be captured in these 3 columns, and anything in additional that you would like to capture about that expense. Same with over here. I can put from dinner. And these are just additional notes that you would like to capture outside of the date, the source, and the amount, or the category, the date, and the amount. So let's say this is all complete, and I want to see where I'm at. I'm at an $85 surplus. for the month of January. So you can see how these are broken up by category. And when you're ready for the next month, you can just right click here, duplicate, and rename this February. And rename this up here, February. And more than likely, your joy-filled expenses are probably going to be the same. Maybe you don't get your nails done every month, but maybe you go to a dance class once a month. And maybe this month for your HOA sinking fund, last year you put a little bit of, or last month you put a little bit of extra. So this month, maybe you only have to put $100. And more than likely your credit card payment is the same every month. So that's not going to change. This is just the date changes. More than likely your mortgage isn't going to change month to month. Your rent isn't going to change month to month. So your gas bill probably won't change, maybe a couple of dollars here and there. So I just changed the month. Let's say instead of 75, it was 78 this month. And you don't have a phone bill this month because you've paid it annually. But if you do have it every month, that will stay in that same row. You just change the date. And if you pay it every month, the amount is probably the same. So you can see how once you have 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down, it starts to become a lot easier because the categories are the same and in the same area. So it'll be things like, yes, food was probably changed because that is a variable expense. It fluctuates, the days fluctuates, the amounts fluctuate. Transportation, if you're paying your insurance monthly, if you're paying it every other month, if you're paying it monthly, it's definitely going to be the same. If you're paying it semi-annually, then that's an expense that won't be in this month. Health costs vary. Personal might vary, or maybe you get your hair cut every month, so that will be the same. So again, once you've calculated all of your expenses, you have your total here. Once you've calculated all of your income, and there will be probably a lot of similarities here as well. You would just have to change the date. If your salary, then your company name will be the same. Your amount more than likely will be the same. It might fluctuate a couple bucks here and there. And your pay date will change. But again, once you have all of your income calculated, all of your expenses calculated, then you can see if you're operating at a surplus or a deficit. And again, with the top 3 variable expenses, these little snapshots here can show you exactly where you are with your spending for the top 3 variable expenses, the top 3 fixed expenses. And again, we have this snapshot here of the surplus and the deficit. And once you're done with February, you create another tab for March, April, May, June, so on and so forth, until you have, I do this every year. I have a year's worth of tracking from 2023. I have a year's worth of tracking from 2022, and so on and so forth. And so this is an easy spot to keep everything in one file, in one spreadsheet, just tabbed out. And you can see the difference. Okay, January, we spent $4,085. February, we spent $2,568. You can largely see that some of the January expenses that did not transfer over to February were the insurance that's paid semi-annually, the phone bill that's paid annually, and you can see very quickly the difference between January, February, and then March, April, May, so on and so forth. So this is operating the spending tracker. So next, we're going to jump into operating the spending plan. So you would just go to your email, grab your link, This is where the link will take you. Again, use the template. This is an image of the template. You are going to use the template. And again, showing you this is your file. You are not sharing it. Did you see that? Let me close this so I can show you again. Share private to only me. This is your personal file. No one else has access to it. Once you agree to use the template, this is just a file for you only. Only you are the owner. Your access is restricted. And you can allow access to whomever you'd like. But just know that once you use this template, this is your private document. You can change the name. Again, My Joyful Spending Plan. And let's get into it. So the spending plan right now, it's tabbed out for 6 months. You can absolutely tab it out more to 12 months. You can use this for the first 6 months, and then you can make a copy, and that can be your next 6 months. This is a very flexible plan for you to use it however it works best for you. So, for example, monthly income source number one, I would say that it would be like job number one, job number two, job number three, job number four, or job number one, investment number one, investment number two, so on and so forth. So let's say for your first job for the first month, you had $4,000. And then from investments, you brought in $500 from your first investment. And then your second investment could have been your high yield savings account. For the month, you brought in 50 bucks. All right. So your total income for month one is $4,550. And you see these categories: joy-filled expenses, savings, debts, insurance, housing, children, pets, food, transportation, health and grooming costs, personal costs. These are very much reflective from your tracker. So you've got your joy-filled expenses, savings, debts, insurance, housing, children. Oh, I noticed I did not put pets there. So this is a spot where you could easily add another category. So you can copy from here, paste here, and rename this pets. And let's say you had to take your pet to the vet on the 22nd. And I'm going to say $30 for the coffee. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now that we have the joyful spending tracker and we see the categories that we have entered our expenses from, we have our joyful spending plan. So now you can easily come back here and see, well, how much on average do I spend for expenses? This was 20 bucks here, or in entertainment. This is 20 bucks here. It looks like regularly I'm doing $20 a month at minimum for dance classes. And that can go in the hobbies. So let's say that's 20. For entertainment, we can go down here and, oh, see, I only have a personal category here. So we can add an entertainment category. And let's say we went to the movies on the 25th, and that was 50 bucks because it's like tickets and the popcorn and so on and so forth. So let's say that was in January, but in February, the entertainment was a movie night at home, and we, bought popcorn from the store. That's under the groceries expenses. So let's say entertainment, we're gonna allot 50 bucks a month. And then for charity, it's however much you choose. Let's say 20. It could be 20, it could be 200. That's just how much you are using for entertainment. Okay, so now we have your savings, however much you save per month for birthdays, vacations, holidays, and additional savings. That would be in your savings category. All right, so here you have your debts. So how much do you allot for your car payment? Let's say you have a $500 car payment, and then you have a $600 car payment because you're a two-car household and you have two car payments. Let's say on your credit card, let's say you average $200 a month, you only have one credit card in the works. And then for your student loans, let's say that's you have a two student loan household, one is $500 and one is $400 a month. So you have your debt payments here. For those of us that have life insurance outside of our jobs, you can enter that life insurance, identity theft insurance, umbrella insurance, and any other insurance that you have here. You can add pet insurance, you can just add a column. We're going to insert one row above and add pet insurance. And I'm going to copy from there and paste there, just so that the formatting is uniform and it's easy to see. All right, so on a monthly basis, let's say your mortgage and your rent are $400. HOA fees, let's say that's $400 as well. Let's say your property taxes and insurance, if they're included in your rent and mortgage, you can just leave these blank. If they're not, then you can add those in. Your average for electricity, let's say that's 80, gas and heating 80, water, let's just round everything off to 80. So your phone bill, you don't pay it monthly, but that is something that you do have to allot for. So let's just say it is $55 a month. Internet, let's say that's 70, and then all of your subscriptions together. You can leave it as one row or you can break it out. So for all of your subscriptions, let's say you pay 120. And if you have cable, you enter that. If you don't have cable, you can leave it blank. If you pay trash, you can enter it. If not, you leave it blank. Yard work, home maintenance, and any other row that you would need to add. Okay, and so anything associated with the children. So we have tuition for any school, private school, college. Let's say tuition is $1,200 a month. Let's say they don't go to daycare because the daycare is included in their school tuition. They go to before and after care at the school. Or you have like babysitters come over. And that averages, let's say, I don't know, $400 a month. You have them in sports and activities. Let's say that averages $200 a month. And your college savings that you're putting aside for your kids, let's say that's $150 a month. And then your pet expenses, food expenses, let's say groceries. You spend $1,200 a month on groceries. On eating out, you spend $450. And then your Sam's Club or Costco fees. Not sure how much that is. I'm just going to say 75. All right, you enter all of your transportation expenses. Let's say for gas, you spend $200 a month on average. You have your auto insurance, which you pay semi-annually, but if you were to break it down, let's say it's $150 a month. Let's say you allot $150 a month for any type of car repairs, tune-ups, anything that you would want to save that goes towards your repairs. Registration, let's say you put away $50 a month for your auto registration, that's paid annually. And let's say one day you're going to need to replace your car, so you want to get ahead of it. You want to start a fund for money to go towards replacing your car, and you put away $150 a month for it. And again, so on and so forth. You're going to fill in your health and grooming costs, your personal costs, Then you're going to tally up your total expenses. Now here, the total expenses is $9,650, but our income was $4,550. So we see that there is a deficit of $5,100. This should equal zero. When you're doing your joyful spending plan, we want to make sure that every dollar that comes in has a job. Every dollar that comes in has a purpose. So let's say this is a two-person household, and each person brings in 5,000. And now our total is 10,500. So if all of these were filled in completely and accurately, and you have total expenses of $9,650, well, this is not zero, this is $900 extra. So where are we going to put those $900 extra? Well, let's say we want to pay off our car a little bit faster. So we're going to, instead of doing 500, we're going to do 600 and 700 here. And let's say we want to pay off our credit card. So we're going to throw $500 at our credit card this month. And let's see where we're at. So we still have an extra $400. Where are we going to place those $400? Well, I kind of want to take an additional dance class. So instead of $40 or $20 a month, let's bump that up to $40. And we want to go on a vacation. So we're going to throw $300 in that vacation fund. And anything left over, let's see, so that's $80. Anything left over, we're going to throw it into additional savings. So now we have our total expenses, or our total income minus expenses. We now have that at zero. So now we know that every dollar that comes in has a goal, has a purpose, has a job, according to our joyful spending plan. We can also see that we are making payments towards our debts, paying off our debts, becoming debt-free. We are also putting money into our savings. And we're also enjoying life. We're also allocating money for entertainment, allocating money for our hobbies. So this is really, really important to see that, yes, you can pay off debt. Yes, you can save for your future. Yes, you can accomplish those really big financial goals, all while still enjoying your life today. You don't need to give up everything that you enjoy just because you want to get out of debt, just because you want to build for your future, just because you want to increase your 401k contributions. You can do all of that and spend money on things that bring you joy. So again, we have that for month one. We can rename this month one January 2024. We can rename this February 2024. We can rename this March 2024, so on and so forth. So that is how you use your joyful spending plan. And that is how you use your joyful spending tracker. All right, I'm going to stop the share. And I hope that was a really informative, really helpful demonstration on how to use these two very important tools that will help you reach the goals that you want to reach, but also still living your joyful life today and planning to live your joyful life in the future. All right, take care. Love you. Bye.